gods are smiling on you. Oh, I don't know. It's been a bad week, huh? Hello and a very good evening to you from the Jurong East Stadium. The Singapore Premier League underway again, of course, since the restart in October. It's round 8 as Tanjong Pagar United take on Geylang International. This is where Tanjong Pagar are based, of course, this season, this truncated season, as a result of COVID-19, of course. And, well, it hasn't been the best of seasons so far for either side, and they're hoping to turn their season around. Both teams will be probably looking at each other, looking at this particular fixture and thinking this could be an opportunity, certainly as far as Tanjong Pagar United are concerned, to get their first win of the season. They haven't had one since 2014. Don't forget, they haven't played in the SPL till they returned this season in 2020. Geylang International, they have lost their way, haven't they, in recent times? And they know they've got some tough games coming up with the top two, Tampines Rovers and Albrechts Nagata. So this is a game they have targeted. Let's hear from the men in charge.
You are playing against a Geylang side that has suffered 2 straight losses. Are you confident of getting a result today?
Naturally, I think we have to ignore all that fact. For the last 2 matches, yes, they have been performing badly, but they have a week more rest than us, and then I think we have to respect them. Anyway, we cannot prepare much, so the system of play for today will be similar to Hougang. I think we have a lot of injuries also on our end also, so I think we will try to get something out of this game also.
Will the team be making any major changes tactically today?
Tactically no, but in individual players like Farid is still out, then Iggy is still out, and then a new fresh injury, Zulkifli is also out. So we are starting with 4 under 23 today. Opportunity for them to show something inside this game. Yeah.
Ignatius Ang will be out for the rest of the season. How will his injury affect the team?
He has been a brilliant player for us. I think it's very unfortunate event that he have to miss the whole season. But we have players who can replace him in this position because most of our style of play is more on defending aspect.
Geylang has suffered back-to-back defeats since the restart of the SPL. Can you share with us what do you think has been the issue for your team?
I think we just need to regroup lah. I think it has not been a very good performance from us the last 2 games, you know. But I think saying that, we just got to keep on being positive and just move on lah. I think we got 9 more games to play for, and there's still something to play for. So I think we just need to be positive and bounce back from here.
You were Hasrin's assistant when he was Geylang head coach a few seasons back. Is it safe to say that you know what to expect from Tanjong Pagar today?
I mean, besides my relationship with Hazrin, you know, as an assistant coach and coach, I think Hougang has a very, Tanjong Pagar has a very good team, you know, very hardworking team. They have some they are very organized and compact, you know, and I think it's not an easy team to break down lah at this moment, you know.
Did the team focus on anything specific in training to prepare for today's game?
I think the first thing we need to do is just come out and work hard first lah. I think it's going to be a very tough game. I think we can focus on tacticals or any work, but at the end of the day, I think we have to put in the hard work and bounce back from the last 2 defeats. Yep.
Okay, thank you, coach. Good luck.
Get the thoughts there of both men. Noor Alam Shah, of course, is the team manager. Noor Ali is the team manager of Tanjong Pagar, that is, and Noor Ali in charge of Geylang International. Yeah, of course, what will happen is that players are going to be susceptible to injuries. Remember, they hadn't played for a lot of months, and then to get them back into shape and ready for what's going to be a pretty intense few weeks, a couple of months really, is never going to be easy, and that's one of the reasons why we do have, of course, up to 5 substitutions for both these teams for the league, and that will provide some respite, but injuries, of course, will mount up in these sorts of situations. And just don't be surprised if that list does mount up. Well, Tanjong Pagar are still winless, as I said, this season. They are the new team back in the SPL, and so they were always, I suppose you'd say, expected to find things a little bit hard. 3 draws and 3 losses so far. They've only scored 4 goals, which is the second worst. Not surprising, they are second last. Only Young Lions have scored less with 3. But defensively, I think they'll be a little bit happier. They've conceded 8, and only 2 teams are worse than them, but they're level with higher placed teams like Lion City Sailors and Albrechts Negata. Muhammad Taki is the man in charge, assisted by Lim Kok Heng and Kasi Gopikana, the 4th official, Shadiq Al Hussein. They may have a little bit of a busy time at the moment because, well, let's just say there are a few red cards that are going about with Geylang International. They've had a bit of a disciplinary problem earlier on. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. They are missing, of course, Zainul Gulam, their goalkeeper, who did get sent off not too long ago, and he is serving out a suspension, 2-match ban. As the refs come out here, it is eerily silent here, of course. No fans allowed inside any of the stadium. We are down to bare personnel in the stadium itself as it is. So if you're just joining us and you haven't really been watching many of the games since the restart, well, don't be surprised at just how quiet it is. And that, for me, as a commentator, will be interesting. Get to hear just about everything there is out on the pitch right now as the officials await the arrivals of the two teams. And the big news, as you may have heard earlier from the interview there with Noor Alam Shah, is that Tanjong Pagar will be missing attacker Ignatius Ang. There's the Tanjong Pagar side for the rest of the season due to a ligament problem. Captain Farid Hamid is also unavailable, still out after missing the last couple of matches. They defended for their lives at times in that previous game. Tanjong Pagar was actually a stirring performance against a Hougang team really that should have fancied themselves to win that game. There's Geylang International, who, as I've been reliably informed, are actually quite disappointed with the way they have played in recent weeks. They are known, of course, for high press, fast attacking, very attractive football, I have to say, the way that Noali sets them out, but with perhaps fitness problems, as I mentioned earlier, with everyone really, it's hard to maintain that sort of style. And there is perhaps a feeling that they may need to just adapt things, especially against this very direct, very physical Tanjong Pagar side. Delvinder Singh is back in the side, of course. He was out for some time at the start of the season, at the restart. There's the Tanjong Pagar side, who make just the one change from the previous game against Hougang, with Hadiputra Saswadimata in for the injured Zulkifli Hashim. Hazran Jailani, of course, is the new man in charge for the restart. And he'll be very much happy with how they've conducted themselves in that last game. For Geylang, they make also just the one change, with the Kyrgyz defender Komoludin Tashiev coming in, and interesting, they've sacrificed Karol Nizam, who's on the bench, so that's a defender on for an attacker, and it's Komoludin's only his second start of the season and his third appearance overall. Noor Alam Shah, some might say that perhaps the team are playing in his sort of image, the hard man of Singapore football, played up front, of course, with great success, and certainly a character. But they've got a real steel about them, Tanjong Pagar, and a little bit of sprinkling of magic around, Brazilian magic. There you see Jan Mota. We've also got Luis Junior and Noor Ali, also enigmatic, flamboyant forward in his time, and his team play in that sort of mould as well. Entertaining, to say the least, but will that continue today? Will they just try to adapt things against the Tanjong Pagar side? Here we go. Tanjong Pagar up against Geylang International. Remember, their goalkeeper, their first choice, Zainul Gulam, as I mentioned, suspended. Hairul Shehan is the man between the sticks. Zainul Gulam has proved very much adept in his job as the number one for Geylang, so let's see. And they conceded a number of goals this season. That will be a big problem. Here's Barry Maguire. He's certainly one of the most accomplished players in the SPL, having played with Utrecht in Eredivisie and in the Europa League. And we've got our first foul of the evening. Now let's just see. There was contact. Certainly some contact from Maguire on Raihan Rahman. He's a new signing as well from Palisi Khalsa. There's Tashiev, I was telling you about earlier, from Kyrgyzstan. He's the first Kyrgyz in the Singapore League, actually. Playing it at the back with Ichikawa from Japan. That's a long ball right across, aimed at Chris Van Hoosen. Normally they push the fullbacks right up here. Darren Tay looking out towards Faris. Shoda Nishikawa was stopped in his tracks. Seeing a lot of the ball early on. Tashiev and Darren. Little coming together here. Happy to just walk away from that. Nur Lukman. It's a free kick in a good area here. Shabil picks himself up off the ground. It was just a little nudge on Nur Lukman from Takahiro. Now, Van Hoosen can just whip this in. Could be tricky here for Tanjong Pagar, though I was very impressed with some of it last gasp defending, but pretty good overall. Kenji Rushdie with his first clean sheet. The header was blocked, still alive there. Closing down well, Tanjong Pagar. Left a little as well. Tanaka gets something on it. Well, it's pretty fast-paced already, this start to the game. Such a vital player, Firdaus Kasman. That holding role that he plays for Geylang International. Ball over the top and nicely defended by Jan Motta, who has already a couple of goals, the defender. Very happy to have a lot of defenders right across the back. And a free kick in a very, very similar sort of area. This time there's a very different sort of ball delivered in. And away by Suhairi. Good pressure, good start here from Geylang International. Darren goes wide. Ichikawa. Noticeable who they're trying to get the ball onto. It's a gigantic figure, really, of Adam Hakim, who's also someone who's just joined during the break. He'll be the key figure. He's towering over absolutely everyone, bar perhaps Jan Motta on the other side. So he will always be the player that they're going to be aiming for. with his massive physique. Well, that is ambitious, to say the least, from Barry Maguire. First chance of the game, half chance at best. But a positive start, nonetheless, from Geylang International. Firdaus. There's Tashiev. Firdaus looks up again, finds Barry Maguire. Foul on him by Jan Motta. Didn't look like too much, but he's quickly telling his defenders what he expects of them. Had his hands in the air, but was certainly pushing him with the rest of his body. Good hold-up play there from Maguire. Now, what do we have here? It could be Faris Farhan now. It is going to be Faris, in fact. Low and parried away in a volleyball style, really, by Kenji. A little bit unorthodox. But they've barely got out of their half so far. This is the farthest they've advanced. It's a really good run down that right-hand side by Shodai Nishikawa. That was counter-attack, and that's what you're going to see a lot of tonight from Tanjong Pagar. They're going to soak and strike as much as possible. Back by Firdaus. Now Darren Tay. Forward to Faris. Will he take it first time? No surprises as Dolvinder throws himself at the ball. He had some heroics, and you may recall right at the very end his intervention preventing what looked to be a certain goal for Hougang. Well, the right-hand side has certainly been where they prefer to attack at the moment, Geylang International. They've got a corner here to be taken by Faris Farhan. And oh, he got something on it, didn't he? Barry Maguire, he'll be disappointed with that. And his expression tells you all you need to know. He probably should have done better with that. He's had the two chances so far for Geylang. One was a very speculative attempt, the other, this header. Kenji waiting for options, hasn't really got too much going on at the moment. It's interesting, Tashiev seems to be sitting in front of the defence with Firdaus Kasman. So they'll be the two defensive pivots, as it were. But it's clear what we're going to see. I think this is going to be the pattern of the game, with plenty of possession, using a lot of the width, particularly on the right-hand side for now, from Geylang. And Tanjong Pagar will to sit back. This is very similar to what we saw against Hougang, who were a little bit toothless for a lot of that game. Here's Firdaus. Darren Tay. Faris is dispossessed. Tanaka. This comes cannoning back off him. Nicely done there by Tashiev, who's looked fairly assured so far. Geylang with a lot of the possession at the moment. Such a huge figure, isn't he? Adam Hakim. Does give them a little bit of a different dimension with the set pieces, as we've seen. Foul by Darren Tay. He doesn't really think much of that. I think it was the earlier foul, wasn't it? Set pieces are where they're going to try and load up players. Tanjong Pagar, of course, a bit closer to the goal. There's Hadi. Patri Putradila. We'll have him as Hadi, a little bit easier for all concerned. Effectively a 5-4-1. Just need a bit of a spell of possession if they can. That's going way past Tanaka. It's going to be a tough old task. You can count the number of times they've really gone over the halfway line. Back by Firdaus. Up from Tashiev. Now Darren Tay. What Tashiev can do is that he will just drop back into a 3 that allows Darren Tay to just bomb forward a little bit. That gives them the freedom. This is what Noali wants. He wants his fullbacks really bombing forward as much as possible. Maguire with that touch. Very versatile player. Can play the 8, the 6, the 10. And of course that becomes very, very useful. Ashwin Jailani, of course, the former man in charge of Geylang International before Noali took over. Always interesting when that sort of scenario happens. And so far, I think it would be Noali would be the happier of the two, but not until they get some goals in. Touch on there from Nasrul. Well, that might be the first time that Haru Shihan has really had to do anything. And it's only a brief intervention. Ball played up quickly. Barry Maguire up top, and Faris, I think he knew that he was offside. He couldn't go for that ball. And that is going to roll out of play. Pat is still continuing at the moment, and well, credit as well. Got to give that to Tanjong Pagar. Might not be pretty, but They have limited Geylang International for all that possession and nice looking football in the build-up. They are not really able to do much in that final third, in and around the penalty area. That's a diving tackle in which Van Huysen has skipped past. He's done well here, Van Huysen. Good ball in, but it's far too close to Kenji Rushdie. Did the hard work really, really well. Foul on Nasrul. Well, these are the opportunities, as I mentioned, that they can just start to put some players up front. Huysen. Trying to force the issue on that right-hand side at the moment, and a lot of players in front of them here, Tanjong Pagar. Adam Hakim onto the ball. Tashiev got it instead. Here's Ichikawa. Now Tashiev. Maguire dropping a little deeper here. Good ball for Harith. A really good run down that right-hand side. Jan Motta trying to play his way out of trouble there. Here's Raihan. And they too are just trying to close down a little bit here, Geylang. Firdaus looking for Harith. Gets past Motta very easily. Harith! Oh, and that isn't a bad attempt at all, is it? That's probably the best one they've had so far. And wonderful work by Harith Kanadi. We haven't seen him go up as much as Darren Tay, but it's good to see from Geylang's point of view that both fullbacks have got the ability and the desire to be able to do that. Took it on so well and got past the big figure of Jan Motta. Perhaps a little too easily. By the way, Jan Motta is still on his haunches, slowly gets up. Delwinder does his job well here. Challenge from Nur Lukman. They're a bit short in their ranks at the moment as well, with Umar having injury issues. They've lost Panos, Greek forward, Joshua Pereira, Noor Alif and Enes, and Umar returning from injury. He's on the bench, Umar Akbar. got a couple of attacking options if they want Amy Reka and Khairul Nizam, later on Iqbal Hussain. So some pretty good bit of firepower there for Geylang International. If they can't break down this very stubborn Tanjong Pagar defence. Nur Luqman does well. That came off Shabil. Away by Tanaka. Just for now, anywhere will do to give them a bit of respite. I stress it's 5-4-1 rather than playing 3 at the back with the wing backs pushing up, because they're really barely doing that. Tanaka from time to time is. Tashiev, and look at where Maguire is, very deep at the moment, wants to get, I think, a little bit more involved, but he's got the ability to be involved. Darren Tate slides it in. He's annoyed with that, annoyed with himself. Maguire. All the action really in the Tanjong Pagar half at the moment, as we fast approach the midway point of this first half. AIA Singapore Premier League match at the Jurong East Stadium between Tanjong Pagar United and Geylang International. Goalless as it stands. Raihan with actually the right kind of idea. Execution not quite there. Looking at Tanaka. He's got the pace, Tanaka. But on this sort of surface, that kind of ball will skip off it very quickly. Nicely done there by Nur Luqman. Very nicely done. Plays his way out of trouble superbly. And Faris Farhan, that's a delightful ball up to Chris Van Hoosen, who could almost get through. And Amarul Emran got an important touch on. Otherwise, that could have been real problems. But Barry Maguire just congratulating Nur Luqman there for some excellent play. Tashiev played that through the middle to Maguire. Ishikawa dropping a little as well. He'll basically come and help that midfield. At times it is almost 5-5 for Tanjong Pagar. Tanaka. Adam Hakim. Nicely done by Ichikawa. Now Firdaus looks up. Opted not to play that ball forward. Again, Maguire dropping. Van Hoosen. Now Maguire looks up, sees the run. Oh, that's a bit of a mistake, isn't it, from the goalkeeper, Kenji Rushdie, and Harith tries to chip him. Well, that is very, very fortunate. Kenji Rushdie has to do better in that situation. And maybe one could say the same thing about Harith. Could he have shown a little bit more composure, but that was an easy take for him. Actually, that would be harsh. I think Harith did really well anyway. Had to think fast there. Now we're going to have the customary mid-half drinks, and it'll be very clear to see who will be the happier of the two sides. Well, it's been all Geylang International so far in this first half. And we see some of the chances. That was, well, that would have been a wonder goal really if Maguire had scored it, but it was the first one of the game. Kenji Rushdie with a rather unorthodox save. Quite sure I've seen that one before. Looked very volleyball-esque. And then Maguire with a header. And he couldn't quite direct on target. I think he felt he should have done better with that one from his reaction there. Really got a good connection on it. And then Harith Kanari with a couple of decent efforts. I'd say he's probably had the best chances for Geylang International. And really, Tanjong Pagar have offered absolutely nothing going forward at the moment. But we knew that was going to happen coming into this game. They are going to bide their time. What they need to do is make sure that they are solid at the back. And Kenji Rushdie, a couple of occasions, has looked a little shaky. There's Delvinder. Touched on by Suhari, rather. Oh, lovely touch on left for Barry Maguire to Faris. He's got Jan Motta there, who's done just enough. And the first shot, it's just off the post. Noor Lukman. Lovely move that started with Maguire. And Van Huysen's shot flies over. Well, that was glorious. It was a touch on from Maguire. Jan Motta was too powerful for Faris, but the shot from Noor Lukman off the upright. And they're getting closer and closer, aren't they, Geylang International? And this is the problem when you are sitting back and allowing teams to come at you. It is the law of averages. They will keep doing so. That is nasty. Those kind of falls on this sort of surface, it's always going to hurt. He will be okay. It's just a matter of time. Faris Fahan is, at the moment, not enjoying that. Receiving the treatment at the moment. It was just the way he landed. It did come from quite a height as well. This is that chance again. Another angle of it. Noor Lukman hit that fairly well, and I think, to be fair to Kenji Rushdie, he probably had that covered. So Faris will just hobble off for a little while. I'm sure he'll be okay. They're not great, but you can more or less run them off. Now here's Raihan, who's actually very good on delivery. He's gone obviously quite short just because it's behind the halfway line. Got a good shot on him as well, Raihan Rahman. Here is Shabil. Now Tanaka. Needs to be a better cross than that, better delivery. And a rare moment in the final third for Tanjong Pagar. Remind, of course, that the truncated season also sees the opting out of Brunei DPMM, and we'll only have 2 rounds of games. There you go, 2 shots on target so far for Geylang International. And plenty of shots to no shots, I think, would be the very easy way to sum it up between the two sides at the moment, with Tanjong Pagar not troubling Hairul Shehan at all currently. Yes, 2 rounds, and the important thing to remember as well, the top 3 places will be involved in continental competition next year. Top place will see direct involvement in the AFC Champions League, which will be expanded to 40 teams in the group stages. So that's excellent news for Singapore football. And that means 2 places will go to the AFC Cup. Because there's no Singapore Cup this year, it means 3rd place is up for grabs. And that really is quite a bonus. If you think about it, in an 8-team league, almost half the teams, and if you don't count Albrecht's Nagata, because they don't qualify, being counted as a foreign team, half the Singapore teams will get an opportunity to play in the Asian competition. 3 out of 7, almost half, so really good chance there. Touched on by Noor Lukman. He was looking for Van Huysen. Here's Harith. Now Ichikawa. Tashiev looks up, gives the ball away. Slightly has a bit of luck there as it comes off Suhairi. Maguire again playing that very deep role suddenly. Van Huysen a bit too much on that ball, and Kenji Rushdie will get there first. Here we see again Tashiev drops, and that allows Darren Tay to go a little bit further forward. It's clear what Noor Ali is looking to do. And in this instance, Harith doesn't go as further forward, just depends on where the ball is. Now Firdaus. And here is Harith now. Plenty of bodies in front of them, so it's not easy for Geylang. Raihan just trying to put a little pressure on. And he does a pretty good job of it. Ichikawa not impressed with that. Oh, he had a little bit of a kick out there, didn't he, Raihan Rahman? That's what Ichikawa is saying. Wasn't happy with that at all. You can understand why. Well, there's absolutely zero pressure on them at the moment. There was a rare bit of pressing that we saw from Raihan. They do allow them to pass at the back. Tashiev plays the ball up to Maguire. The window will just shepherd that out. Decided in the last second to not take any chances. Away by Dalvinder. I think we have a bit of a problem again at the other end with Shabil. He's gone down a couple of times earlier on. So Jan Motta is coming over to the his technical staff, management staff here. Yeah, Shabil has gone down. Didn't see too much contact there. That could be perhaps a bit of a problem. He's hobbling at the moment. I think Jan Motta was just saying, what are we going to do? Even Delvinder's now having a bit of a chat. Now, are they going to have to make a change here? Not that many defenders around, by the way. So they may just have to shift their formation. They are playing 3 central defenders. But they don't have much other choice. They're going to have to think about perhaps just changing things up at the back. But they are currently playing with 10 men. And it is going to be Tanaka going into that Shabil role and Hadiputra dropping back. Here's Adam Hakim. Or should they try to press the advantage now with the extra man? Jan Motta clears. Raihan helps it along. Van Huysen under a bit of pressure. Back to Adam. Again, Maguire drops. Firdaus. Tashiev. Looking for options, Van Huysen. Having to be a little bit patient here, Geylang International. Just caught a quick glimpse of Maguire looking a little frustrated out on this right-hand side. Now might see the ball. It really is hard when you've got 10 men behind the ball to try and break the lines, find some space in behind. They are well drilled, pretty well organized, aren't they? Tanjong Pagar. And after a few defeats, a few heavy defeats, they're just going to want to keep things tight, though they'll be very much buoyed by that 0-0 against Hougang in the last game. And it looks like they're just taking a leaf out of that page, out of that book. Here's Maguire. Still a lot of time in this game, of course. To the 40th minute here. Faris. Rare moment inside that final third. Nishikawa trying to wiggle his way out of that little cul-de-sac. They build again here, Geylang International. Forward by Firdaus and far over hit in a way that Maguire is going to get to that. This is suiting Tanjong Pagar perfectly at the moment. They will not be bothered by this. And if you can hear that, that's not the alarm bells going off for Geylang International. There's still a lot of time in this game. But I'm sure a few of them might be wondering, a few fans might be thinking, where are the goals? We want goals. This was a game where we had targeted goals before they play the likes of Tampines Rovers and Albrechts Negata. At the moment, to their credit, they're proving impregnable. Now he's He's having problems there, Shabil. He really is. You just saw him hobbling off the pitch and... Well. The first change is not going to be Shabil. It's a first half change here. That's a bit of a surprise, I've got to say. Surya Prakash, who's far more experienced, of course, than Hadi Puchardilla, is on. Very similar sort of role. She loves to take on players. Fast, skillful player. Attacker. But it's more, I would have thought, Shabil, who's okay. Shabil he's hobbling, but he's okay for now. Offside is a shout there. Certainly be a little bit more bite in attack. Far more senior player. Now he looks like he's... I just wonder whether that was the word earlier on. Look at that, Van Huysen racing past Amirul Emran. It's a good ball in. Oh, that just bounces over. Fantastic work. Noor Lukman again. But it was Van Huysen's pace on that left-hand side. That was going to be always hard, wasn't it? The angle was acute. But he has had a couple of chances, so has Harith, so has Maguire, a little bit less obvious ones. But I just wonder, Jan Motta and Delvinder both seem to have words with their management. And it looks like a far more positive step here to have Surya Prakash in now. It looks like he's taken a more forward position. Almost looks like a 4-4-2 if I didn't know any better. Why did they do that just before half-time rather than wait till the break? Interesting one. Perhaps something we could find out another time. Here's Darren Tay. Tanaka tries to get at Noor Lukman. He's done really well here, Noor Lukman. I think he knew he was running out of options here. Gave the ball away. And it's a yellow card for Raihan. I think it's a number of challenges from him. He's not happy with that. His reaction tells you what he thinks. I think the referee was also making the point, Taki, about a couple of other challenges he saw. And could this be the opening inside the 45th minute? For Geylang International to finally get the breakthrough. Raihan, confirmation then of his booking. At the far post and a header. Through the sea of people there from Tashiev. Not really going to trouble anyone. And we have 2 minutes of added time. Again, he gets the cross and he's done really well here. Again, Van Huysen, but well, Lukman, the biggest of figures, hard with him with the header. Nice touch on there from Maguire, still with the Dutchman. Was carelessly given that away. Surya Prakash, first touch he's had on the ball. And this is what he can do. Loves to take on players. Wins his team a free kick. And this is what they need, a little bit of guile. He knew he didn't have much support either. He just had to draw the foul. He did that very well against Ichikawa. Now, could it be? Could it be? They're going to get Luis Jr. on 2 substitutions before halftime. Right, Shabil, who was struggling, is going to be replaced by a forward. So it's certainly now we're going to have to see a change in formation, unless Raihan is the one that drops back. Shabil is really taking his time because they know they need to drag this out and that the last bit of play will be this free kick. And now Luis perfectly positioned here to try and do something with this free kick, the Brazilian hotshot. Luis gets a touch on it. It's cleared away. Here is Raihan. I'm not sure why he needed to do that. He had more time than he thought, and he's put himself in a little bit of trouble there. Cleared away in the end by Suhairi. And Kenji gets there first. Well, interesting how that has panned out in the first half. It's probably what most people would have thought, with Geylang International dominating proceedings in all departments in terms of possession and chances. In fact, there were no chances created by Tanjong Pagar. They've come close a couple of times through Nur Lukman and Harith Kanadi. At halftime, though, at the Jurong East Stadium, it's Tanjong Pagar United 0, Geylang International 0. We are back at the Jurong East Stadium for the Singapore Premier League match between Tanjong Pagar United and Geylang International. No goals so far in this game, but it has been entertaining in the sense that one side is certainly trying to win the game and the other is trying to contain it. Geylang are the side that have had all the chances. That was the first one of the game. from Barry Maguire. They would get better than that, I promise you. The other chances are all better than that one. A free kick from Faris Fahan, parried away in an odd fashion by Kenji Rushdie. And then this corner, Maguire with the header that he was a bit frustrated by. I think he should have probably put that at least on target. And they pressed and pressed, didn't they, Geylang, against this resolute Tanjong Pagar side. And it was the width they had, really. Van Huysen on one side, No Lukman on the other. That one straight down the throat of Kenji Rushdie. Tackles flying in sometimes. It is a physical team, Tanjong Pagar. But that one straightforward for Kenji, though he had a few hairy moments. Harith then started getting into attack. Lovely bit of play here, getting over Jan Motta and then taking the shot. No one closing him down. He might feel he could have done more with that. But lovely little dink over the Brazilian. And then the shot, the snapshot over Kenji. And this was some lovely play from Geylang International. That touch on from Maguire. Jan Motta was strong. Lukman with the follow-up shot hitting the woodwork. But the build-up play to this was absolutely superb, and had it resulted in a goal, well, that would have been a contender surely for goal of the season. But in the end, it was Noor Lukman who took the shot, and still did not bulge back of the net. Again, great pace shown here by Van Huysen, and tough one for Noor Lukman. An acute angle. Free kick and a header from Tashiev. That was always going to be hard as well. But they have come close on a few occasions. Geylang International, plenty of positivity for them. 9 attempts, 2 on target, though. That might be a little bit frustrating. Nothing whatsoever for Tanjong Pagar at the moment. They haven't really shown much intention of going forward, though. Just before the end of the half, Surya Prakash and the forward Luis Junior have been brought on, perhaps a sign of things to come. So let's tell you the other scores at the moment. Tampines Rovers are playing Young Lions, and perhaps no surprise that Tampines are in front, though maybe the surprise, it's only 1 goal at the moment. And here's something surprising, perhaps. Hougang United, after drawing a blank here against Tanjong Pagar at Jurong East, are now playing at Bishan Stadium and are 1-0 up against Lion City Sailors. We'll be back very shortly. At halftime it stands Tanjong Pagar United 0, Geylang International 0, and second half coming up. Welcome back to Jurong East Stadium, where there are no goals at the moment between Tanjong Pagar United and Geylang International. Certainly it's been a bit of a reaction from the Tanjong Pagar United players. Heard a bit of frustration in the changing room at half-time. I think they've really been playing a rearguard action in that first half. And the stats tell you the story of this game so far. Absolutely nothing going forward. And Geylang have done all the attacking. I think they might actually be a little frustrated with themselves as well, because they've only managed 9 shots, 2 of which have troubled Kenji Rushdi. Well, actually troubled. I think he probably made trouble for himself rather than anything else. But they may want to really up the ante in the second half. Waiting to see if there's any news of substitutions, and we have the confirmation of that, I think, very shortly. Khairul Nizam and Iqbal Hussain are going to be coming on shortly to bolster that attack. Question is, who are they going to replace? Could it be Noor Luqman, who I think's had an excellent first half, but now will be replaced with a little bit more experience? Will Faris Farhan perhaps even make way? That might be where things are going. Just waiting for confirmation. I'll tell you what, Geylang are ready to go. Tanjong Pagar, as I said, they were probably sorting out a few things in the changing room, have yet to come out. I think there is obviously a fair bit to sort out at the moment. And a reminder, Lion City Sailors are up against, Hougang United are up against Lion City Sailors at Bishan Stadium. Tampines Rovers at our Tampines Hub are 1-0 up against Young Lions. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage so far of the restart of the Singapore Premier League. It's been a long wait for everyone because of COVID-19. Thankfully, things are pretty good at the moment in Singapore, which is why we've had the restart, and we will get some kind of conclusion, hopefully, to this season, where each team will have played 14 matches. And a reminder of how things look with regards to this particular game in the league, with Tanjong Pagar in 7th place at the moment. Geylang International above them in 6th. Geylang with 6 points, Tanjong Pagar with 3, having played a game more. A win here tonight for Geylang International would put them up into 4th place, depending, of course, on what happens with Hougaang's game. Hougang at the moment, as I said, are leading. But again, that's very disappointing for Lion City, given all that's happened with them and their privatisation. They are currently languishing in 5th place with 7 points and a goal down as we speak. The players are back on the pitch. The Tanjong Pagar players, that is. And it'll be interesting to see now how they're going to be set out. Will it be 4 at the back? We're now going to get confirmation of those substitutions, and it is indeed going to be Noor Luqman, who I thought was very, very good. He is replaced by Iqbal Hussain. And Khairul Nizam is in for Faris Farhan. Well, it's the exact 2 that we speculated would come off. Faris perhaps relatively quiet compared to some of the other attacking players. No Luqman, I think, might come off a little bit unlucky. But it's a statement of intent perhaps from Muhammad Noali. So let's see now, are they going to be a little bit more adventurous? Adam back to Hairul Shehan. Ooh, a bit of a mistake there from Delvinder, but he will rectify that quickly. Jan Motta. Up to Maguire. Nice take on there from Van Huysen, but his ball rolls away from everyone. Tanaka. Well, what they obviously are trying to do here is just soak up, keep that first half tight. And if we're generous, that would be the first chance for Tanjong Pagar, but really nothing in it whatsoever. As I said, Hairul Shehan has had virtually nothing to do. There's Maguire. Now Iqbal, his first touch. That stays in. Darren Tay. Here is Firdaus. Iqbal looks up. That's too easy for Amirul. Oh, by Van Huysen. Interesting to see, as I said, how they're going to be set out here, and it does look like a 4 now, a flat 4 for Tanjong Pagar. I tell you what's interesting is this is probably the furthest forward I've seen Amirul Emran. He's gone beyond the halfway line, which is not something we saw him do much of, in fact, at all in the first half. Karan Nizam out to Barry Maguire. Now Iqbal, and that sails over harmlessly. Well, I'll tell you what, we can hear some fans outside the stadium. Geylang fans, it's a long, long trip out here. But as long as they're observing the safe distancing measures, I think they will be very much welcomed. They're strictly speaking not breaking any rules by being outside. Don't think we heard them earlier, so nice to have them now make a little bit of noise. We had a few Hougang fans here the other day when Tanjong Pagar played. Tanjong Pagar, of course, their natural area is Queenstown, which is, I guess, not so far away from here in relation to Geylang International. Here is Luis Junior doing basically everything on his own there. And Nashrul going in a little bit hard. Ichikawa. I've had to see Geylang really play out from the back, have we? Because they've not been troubled, really. Iqbal coming back a little bit to help. Now Adam to Hairul Shehan. And I tell you what's interesting, when a goalkeeper has almost nothing to do in a game, Sliding in there, Tashiev. I'll tell you what, they're starting to win 50-50s here. Tanjong Pagar. Nishikawa. Just looking that much more positive. Tanaka, high up the pitch. He's been one of the few attacking threats. And a great chance here. The flag had gone up anyway. The header of Luis Junior. Now, it may have been offside, but a little warning shot across the bow from Tanjong Pagar. And here we go, have another look at this. Yeah, he's offside. But he was in between the two defenders, more importantly. He just strayed off there a little bit. But they are now just looking a little bit more threatening. Barry Maguire, it's a good ball out. Karol Nizam. Oh, that's an acrobatic save from Kenji Rushdie. And that's another shot on target. But Karol Nizam, he has got that threat, hasn't he? Lovely ball from Maguire. Just lofting it over the defence. Karol Nizam getting in behind and taking the shot. Not easy, I've got to say. Perhaps Kenji slightly making more of that than he needed to. And it has led to a corner here. Header on target, that's a good save. Well, this match has livened up, hasn't it? Ichikawa. Now Iqbal. Anywhere just away from the goal. A header from Nasrul. Kenji has flapped at that. And he's got away with it. And this is that header. It was the outstretched leg of Kenji. He's kind of redeemed himself. A couple of decent saves after some shaky moments in the first half. But they look far more positive, don't they, Tanjong Pagar? And the question will be, why don't they start like this? Because they could have easily conceded a couple in that first half and it might have been a bit too late. It's clear what they're looking to do. Keep a clean sheet in the first half, be fairly conservative and then try to go for it in the second. They made some very late substitutions, which raised a few eyebrows. Slid in there, Darren Tay. A ball in from Iqbal. What we're seeing is a bit of a little large combo with Luis Junior being joined up there by Nasrul. Thought we would see a bit more from Surya Prakash, but he's playing out wide. Iqbal. This is Van Huysen. Now Harith. Was there a foul there on Harith? A better idea here. Yeah, there was a little bit in there. I don't think it was too bad. That's why the referee has not said there's going to be a free kick.
Ref, time ref, ref.
Louis Junior heads it on. Ichikawa. Raihan Rahman. Giving away a bit carelessly. And an apology there from Suhairi. Now Ichikawa. Well, trying to play that to Darren Tay. Tanaka looks up at his options. Has to go back to Kenji. And that's a really poor kick out from the keeper. Well, Noali will be happy to see a few more efforts. He needs goals. Efforts don't mean anything in the end unless you convert them. Had a few more chances. Karunizam. Tashiev gets something on it. Here's Van Huysen. Now Maguire. Cutting side, Tashiev. Lovely. Oh, you can see the idea from Karunizam. Final third, just a little disappointing at the moment for Geylang International. The build-up, some of it is excellent. It's just trying to play a dummy on for Iqbal. Certainly a willingness now to go forward. Louis Junior. And I think Adam, well, he might be lucky boy not to get a foul there with that challenge on Nishikawa. Oh, there'll be a little talking to. A little bit of a wild swipe there from Adam. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the set pieces are the best way forward really for Tanjong Pagar, and you can pile on some of the bigger players. Interesting that neither one you would think would go up. Delvinder and certainly Mota have gone up there. And it's going to be Louis Junior, I think, who's going to try and test Haru Shirhan. It's not far away from that top corner. He went for goal and wasn't a bad effort indeed. Positive, much more positive from Tanjong Pagar. Here we go, have another look at this. Just bending away. But he does give them a different dimension now. Of course, he has also just returned, so that's one of the reasons why he's not starting. He also had a similar effect when he came on against Geylang United offside. Here's the shout there on Nasrul. Tashiev. Well, they played two of their forwards. Still got Amy Reka as well if they need a bit more firepower. Geylang International. Harith goes down. Here's Iqbal. Well, Surya Prakash loves to go up against players. No flag, it stayed down. Can he finish it? Kaoli's up, yes he can! Well, they were all taken by surprise there. Everyone just ball watching. Now some questions being asked of the officials. Well, that's not going to matter. The goal will stand. And delight there for the Geylang International players. Lots of remonstrations with the official, particularly from Jan Mota and now Surya Prakash. I think you could see that, as happy as he might have been, Noor Ali wants them focused. Still half an hour to go in this game. Everyone just ball watching. No one remotely close to Kaun Nizam, and we might just get a better idea of that shortly. Got to say, I did think initially there might be a case here for Tanjong Pagar. And so the change has worked for Noor Ali. On the hour mark, they take the lead, Geylang International. It was coming, wasn't it? Mota clears. It will be certainly a talking point, this goal. And what that does, in a way, is it really should open up the game, you feel. Was there a foul? Ichikawa. Oh, the referee points for a goal kick. He's not really asking too much. Nishikawa, he's maybe making a little gesture, but he doesn't look particularly interested. 13 shots now for Geylang, just the one for Tanjong Pagar. And that dominance is now reflected on the scoreboard. Well, Geylang will feel they deserve it, deserve a lead. It's whether or not that was actually a goal that was merited based on a contentious offside, perhaps, from as far as Tanjong Pagar are concerned. Foul again on Surya Prakash. He's drawing a lot of fouls, just the way he plays, taking on players. Yeah, difficult to see from there, but you play to the whistle. That's all you do. That's all you can do. And no whistle was forthcoming. Everyone just stopping there. Absolute delight from the Geylang International team. They've worked hard. They've been pushing hard, and they'll feel it is just rewards for their efforts. Can they see this out now? Can they increase their lead? And now, of course, Tanjong Pagar have to loosen the shackles big time. Raihan. Out across to Amirul. Amirul. Forward by Suhairi. Still a lot of time in this game, about half an hour or so. Nothing for granted here. I'm sure that's what Noor Ali was saying. Amirul beaten back. Now Firdaus. Too much on that for Barry Maguire. Now Maguire. Tashev does well. Got himself out of a bit of a situation. Just wonder if we're going to see any more changes to try and freshen things up. Wonder whether Geylang have got the lead here, and it's on Tanjong Pagar now to try and force the issue. Remember, they don't have someone like Ignatius, even Farid. These are attacking options if they were available. Here is Luis Junior. Wins aside a corner. This is what they've been lacking, a focal point going forward. And down here for Geylang International, it's Harith Kanadi. He's been a little bit more reserved in the second half. That's because he's got to keep an eye on Amirul, who's just starting to go forward a little bit more. Now with the corner, of course, you have the likes of Luis Junior, Delvinda and Jan Mota. They can make a real nuisance of themselves. Chance here for Tanjong Pagar. And a sort of a diving header. Doesn't really come to fruition for Nishikawa, probably the shortest player in the Tanjong Pagar ranks. Yes, Firdaus. Now Maguire. Back to Iqbal. Maguire was trying to bring in Van Huysen, but it's back here with Nasrul of Tanjong Pagar. Nishikawa is tenacious, wins the ball back. Luis Junior. Offside on Nishikawa, frustration for Tanjong Pagar. Nishikawa will now play sort of a number 10 role. And we've got a change here. Nasrul is off, replaced by Farihin Farkan. So that's 3 changes done now. And he just slots back, I think, into that right-hand role. Here's Darren Tay. Quite a little bit of space in midfield again. He seems to be dropping deeper and deeper, and that's probably because he can do that with Iqbal up there. And that's what he can do. First time, that's a good shot, isn't it? Left foot of Iqbal blocked by Delvinda. It was low, which is the first important thing to do. Harith, he's done well here. There's a little handoff, perhaps, from Farihin. His first contribution is to give Geylang a free kick. Harith is a lively customer, isn't he? And one of the few times we've seen him go further up in this second half. He went for goal, it looked like. Kenji Rushdie concedes a corner. And again, it's poor handling from him. And yeah, questions being asked really of in the air, balls in the air. He just looks suspect, I'm afraid. He tried to punch, and yeah, that wasn't great, was it? Geylang are readying Umar Akbar, who's coming back from injury shortly. It's away by Jan Mota. Steams in there. 20 minutes or so left. Umar now about to come on. And he replaces, I think he's going to replace Adam Hakim. It's an interesting one. Well, they're taking their centre-back off, and Umar is, it's not really a centre-back. Interesting to see what happens here. Is the only goal of the game so far. Well taken by Khairul Nizam. It's just difficult to see, isn't it, from there. He's well in front of everyone else, which would probably prompt some of those reactions from the Tanjong Pagar side. As I said, they are also suffering from injuries to attacking players, attacking options, like Ignatius Sang, Zulkifli Hashim as well, remember. He made his debut recently for this club. Umar Akbar is coming off Adam Hakim and Farid Samid, also another option. But, well, that's interesting. And I think Tashiev will be the one going into defense. Remember, he is a defender by trade, so they have that option. And Umar now comes in, presumably into that pivot with Firdaus. So a little bit more experience then in this side. But yeah, interesting, because of course now Luis Junior is there, and certainly Adam Hakim had him for height, not so much Tashiev. Let's see how that pans out later. Nice little interchange of passes between Farihin and Luis Junior. No foul, again to the annoyance of players. Now Darente having a word with Mohamed Taki. They're going to have to keep an eye on that clock soon, Tanjong Pagar. 15 minutes left, plus some added time. They've made 3 changes so far, as have Geylang International. They don't have too many more attacking options. There's Umar, his first contribution. Remember, there are a couple of other games going on at the moment. Tampines Rovers were playing the Young Lions at Our Tampines Hub. It was 1-0. Madu Mohana with the goal in the 24th minute, and it is still that scoreline. And the other matchup was Lion City Sailors up against Hougang United. It is now 1-1. It was 1-0 at half-time. Shadan Sulaiman has equalised on the hour mark, so that's looking interesting over there. Shawal Anwar had given the lead to Hougang in the 34th. That's a chance, cleared off the line by Dalvinder. The flag has gone up anyway. It had gone out, it was offside. Bit of cramp here for Kenji. And well, a little bit of annoyance here, I think, from the Geylang players. They didn't think it was. Hard again to see from that sort of angle. Had it crossed the line, or were they asking for a handball? Might get a better idea from here. Oh, they're asking for handball, aren't they? But the initial decision was offside. The flag had gone up. And it was Darren Tay's header. They live to see another day, but it's still 1-0. That's the bottom line at the moment for Tanjong Pagar. No foul by Mota on Khairul Nizam. Here's Darren Tay. That's a great ball into Maguire. The ball will not sit for him. And he drags that wide. It just took an age to come down, didn't it? A delightful ball into his path from Darren Tay. And he knows what a great chance that was. Yeah, this is the kind of ground, unfortunately, where if it was on a normal pitch, perhaps a grass pitch, it would have stuck for him. And there, we did think Emi Reka might come on at some point. Will it be for Khairul Nizam? He's getting some treatment at the moment. He's okay. Okay, thumbs up from him. He's fine. Just wonder who they're going to bring on now. Will it be Chris Van Huysen who comes off? Will they sacrifice a midfielder? I can't see that happening. So probably Chris Van Huysen, you'd think. Now we're going to see in a second anyway. But now you think it's going to be all-out assault. You'd think 4 offsides. Tanjong Pagar just the one, which is surprising given that they've barely gone forward. They started playing a high line there. They got in trouble. Here is Khairul Nizam. And Raihan clears. Well, all of a sudden, after defending so deeply, they got themselves into a bit of trouble. So Chris Van Huysen is indeed going to come off for Emi Reka. Had a good game as well, Chris. Some fresh legs now, though. Now Tanaka. Haven't seen as much of him in the second half. He was probably the most attacking player. Well, that result, by the way, Hougang versus Lion City, is probably perfect as far as Geylang International are concerned, because it means they can leapfrog both those sides into 4th spot. If I'm just doing my maths correctly, well, I actually can't leapfrog Hougang because of the superior goal difference. They'll be just behind Hougang goal difference, so they'll be in 5th. though they will have played a game more than Lion City Sailors. Here's Emireka. Now Iqbal. Iqbal! And it took a deflection along the way. They are threatening Geylang International. Another corner. Looked to have come off Mota. Well, the ball is at the wrong end of the pitch at the moment for Tanjong Pagar. 9 minutes left. In no hurry to take this corner at the moment. Doing his best there. Mota gets it away. Man down here, Tashiev. Bit of magic spray. They do have one more change they could make. Sharin Sabarin could come on. That will be a like-for-like change, but I think he's going to be okay. Maguire. Lovely turn from him. Was he held back? The assistant says yes. He'll get a free kick. A nice bit of skill there from Maguire to turn his man, and then held back a little bit. And he's got his team a free kick. This is all perfect, isn't it? It's eating up time in the right sort of areas. Referee just wanting to sort out this little jostling in the box. Decent ball in. Tanaka should be able to clear this. Mota trying to get up to his countryman Luis Junior. Here is Harith. Impeded again. Well, this is not helping Tanjong Pagar. As much as they think that they are trying to break up the rhythm of Geylang International, they're also eating into their time. Noalam Shah is having a bit of a word with the fourth official at the moment. Not happy with some of the decisions. Shadiq Al Hussein is the man there. Harith with the free kick, and it's a pretty harmless one in the end. Well, Tanjong Pagar have not done anything attacking for quite some time now. We thought this second half would see a little bit more. There has been more. Well, you can't get much worse than 0 attempts on goal. It's not a great kick again, isn't it, from Kenji? They have got Fasha Iskandar on the bench, who himself has had some problems of his own in the past. So I think their goalkeeping stocks are a little bit low, I'm afraid, for Tanjong Pagar. But look, the fact of the matter is they're only a goal down at the moment. That's all that that should be looked at for now. Bit of urgency now being shown by Tanjong Pagar. Is it too little, too late? They've really let Geylang come at them recently. Was there a little clash there between Mota and Noali? The ball as well has certainly not been played from where the foul was. Iqbal with the header. This is Tanaka. Tashiev with clearing it. Umar looks out. He took a little bit too long. Surya Prakash had done enough. A bit scrappy at the moment from both sides. Here's Darren Tay. Touch on from Tanaka. Here's Nishikawa. Taken quickly. Luis Junior. More men going forward now for Tanjong Pagar. Raihan across to Amirul Emran. There's a new man in, Farihin. Farihin looks up. Is he going to deliver one into the box? Not yet. Raihan plays that out. Farihin. And away by Harith. Currently, just saw the run of Barry Maguire. Couldn't get the ball to him. Delvinder, not a good pass. Now they want to push players forward. Where was this earlier on? Maguire, I sense he'll be dropping a little bit deeper now to just shore up this scoreline rather than perhaps looking for a second. Have to rely on Iqbal and Amy and Karun Nizam. And this is the versatility we were talking about. Foul on Karun Nizam by Mota. A lot of fouls tonight. Made it stop-start at times. Darante looking for Amy Reka. This is working perfectly as far as Geylang International are concerned, right in that corner. Taking a short corner there. Going to try and eat up a bit of time. Harith goes back to Tashiev. And that ball ends up really doing no one any good. Perhaps better for Tanjong Pagar now, who'll just try and pile people forward. 20 seconds till the 90 are up, and then let's see how many minutes we've got added on there. Mota had it covered, 4 minutes. Junior just hasn't really been able to get to the game. A couple of nice moments for him, but not enough. No real service. Surya. Now Raihan. Nicely done by Amy Reka. Amirul to Jan Mota. Just about 3 minutes left here for Tanjong Pagar to salvage something out of this game. Surya goes against him. The ball is whacked away to try and eat up a few more seconds. Well, the Geylang fans are just beginning to probably breathe a bit easy now and start to chant a bit. And let's hope it's not too premature. Really been surplus to requirements today, which is perfect as far as Geylang International are concerned, also because their #1 goalkeeper, Simon Gulam, is serving out. Really well to manage this game at the moment, Geylang. In that corner. And that is exactly what they want. Did well there, Amy Reka. Remember, they lost 4-0 to Lion City Sailors. And then 3-2 to Ballester Khalsa. So they've conceded a lot in their last few games. They're happy to have a clean sheet and the 3 points, though. They may feel they could have done more, and that's well wide in the end. From Firdaus Kasman, not known for his scoring prowess. This will be the last opportunity for Tanjong Pagar. Get the ball up there if they can. And again, you've got to have a better goal kick than that. Well, he's got to take the ball further forward here, Kenji. And that falls to Barry Maguire. Iqbal now. Here's Delvinder. He's got to look at his options. They'll get a free kick. They'll have to load everyone up there. This is it for Tanjong Pagar. Well, this was interesting. Raihan Rahman was telling Jan Motta to get up there, and he's not moving particularly comfortably, but he's got to be up there, surely. As one of the big men in the side. Everyone but Tanaka and Raihan Rahman is up there. Here we go. Hairul Shehan. And that is easy as it comes for him. And it brings to an end this match here at the Jurong East Stadium. And on the balance of play, well, there's no question which side deserves this tonight. They worked really, really hard. Never easy when you have 10 men behind the ball. Geylang International plugged and plugged away at, also, must give credit to Tanjong Pagar, at a very resolute defense. They had their backs to the wall almost from the start and repulsed a lot of it, but Geylang grew into the game, and Khairul Nizam got the winner, perhaps controversially, but a winner nonetheless. And the final score here at Jurong East is Tanjong Pagar 0, Geylang International 1. As we look at some of the highlights of this match, Geylang had their chances in the first half. Free kick there from Faris Fahan, parried away in a strange sort of fashion by Kenji Rushdie. Harith really came into the game and had some nice moves, that one in particular, with a dink over Jan Motta. And then this snapshot. And this was probably the move of the first half, which unfortunately didn't result in a goal. Would have been wonderful to watch, but Faris muscled off the ball by Motta, fell to Nur Lukman, whose shot hit the upright. Well worth seeing again, but this was one of their better opportunities. I think the frustration for Geylang was that they just didn't test Kenji Rushdie enough in that first half. Van Hoosen there putting the boosters on, but it was a tough one for Nur Lukman. The two players really giving a fair bit of width there for Tanjong Pagar. Into the second half with Tanjong Pagar, change of personnel. A couple of changes as well for Geylang. And it was a bit more positive from Tanjong Pagar, but it was still Geylang coming at the hosts. And this was a lovely ball in towards Karul Nizam, who really made something out of nothing. And there was a couple of saves there from Kenji Rushdie in succession. This was off the corner. There you go, these are the two saves I'm talking about. Did well there, an outstretched leg. The header from Karul Nizam. Up the other end, this is probably as good as it got for Tanjong Pagar. The free kick from Luis Junior, who was brought on just before half-time. Trying to give them a little bit more of a presence. Now the goal from Karul Nizam, which was heavily protested. Hard to see, they were claiming offside. He's well in front of everyone else. It was difficult from our position, but the assistant didn't feel there was any offside involved. And that was the only goal of the game. There were still chances, of course. There was a appeal for handball, but the flag had gone up for offside anyway. Again, hard to judge whether that was, but that was a case for handball. Didn't matter anyway, it was ruled out. Any chance of a penalty was ruled out because of the offside. This didn't quite fall for Barry Maguire, dragged the shot wide. Lovely ball from Darren Tay into his path. But yeah, the chances were piling up, weren't they, for Geylang. As we look at the stats for this game, and very much one-sided, as we said. 18 shots for Geylang, 6 on target. That's much better return than we saw in the first half, which was 9 and 1. And only 2 for Tanjong Pagar. And that, well, I suppose you could say that is an improvement from 0 in the first half. So this is how things look. Geylang have put themselves up the table. They're now equal on points with Hougang United in 5th place. And, well, Tanjong Pagar still looking for their first win since their return to the SPL. Thanks a lot, though, for joining us here at the Jurong East Stadium. We look forward to seeing you again this weekend when the SPL continues.